る雲風を裂いて翼のように夢を描くよ時代静止進む空宝というお嬢探しに行こう島の影鋼の帆で希望を揺らして海賊の笑顔自由の証今日もごちそう仲間と笑顔
Evening all, we're back with our bullshit. We were playing Fabula Ultima, and I've just realised I've misplaced the core book, so I will have to go and look for that in a second. Yeah, I'm still not 100%, so I'll probably shut this session down about an hour earlier than usual, just so you're aware. And let's bring the players in. All right, hold that thought while I go and find the call book.
Yes,
Happy Sunday, everyone.
How's everybody today?
Feeling a bit musical, I hear. So now, does everyone have their dice?
Yeah, I was just doing that. Because I've got that companion. I got to make sure I have the right dice for the companion. Yep, good to go.
It was under a cat.
It's a miracle that you were able to get it back so quick.
Well, he moved straight away. I think he realised. They usually prefer to sit on my laptop. So, you know, I can forgive him this time. All right. Does anyone remember where we were and what we were doing weeks ago?
Well, yeah, we had just defeated the first round of these green spirits that were showing up from the remains as we were investigating this sky ship at this crazy high altitude.
Yes. You had gotten information about this ancient wreck that was too high up for most people to reach. The Vesper's Wake, which was an old frigate from one of the precursor civilizations. And so we're way up, where the clouds get very thin. However, thanks to your previous shenanigans, you'd gotten hold of a Aerion booster, Aerion being the element or magical mineral or whatever that allows all the islands and everything else to fly in this world. And that booster took you up high enough where you could investigate. So you found the Vesper's Wake, wrecked, rusty, tarnished, but still an example of incredible precursor technology. It was a frigate with 4 decks. It had like a conning tower built onto it as well, which you'd investigated. According to lore, This was part of a recon fleet that was lost way back during the Automaton Revolt. And somehow it got boosted up into the stratosphere and stuck there. So you'd begun investigating, and on the gun deck, you found an old turret that was pretty wrecked. And there are these weird kind of glitchy ghosts and amalgamations of magic technology and dead sailors, which came to life. You had managed to destroy, I think, all of them at this point, which left you free to investigate further.
That's how I recall it.
So that's pretty much where we were. Any of the other characters who aren't present this time, who were present last time, have decided to return to the ship to secure it in case any of these strange ghost creatures try to take control of your ship, which would be bad. Leaving you guys to explore the rest of the ship.
Okay. So real quick, let's get Devlin armed appropriately. What kind of weapon would you like, Devlin? What kind of damage would you like it to do?
Well, considering that we're dealing with, we're high up, air doesn't seem to be very useful. So, could we do light?
Yes, I can make a. Where is it? 2. Bum, 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 bum. I will make you a. Oh, wait, wrong page. So you get a magic cannon advance. It is Dex plus Insight plus 1 to hit. It is HR plus 10 damage. And no, I light is the only one I can't do. Air, bolt, earth, fire, ice, or physical.
Let's go ice.
Okay. So there you go. You would have one that does ice damage.
All right. So you stop briefly and adjust one of the many gun frames that you have, turning it into an ice projector.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice big chunky steampunk pipe gun, basically, with a bunch of magitech crystals sticking out of it here and there.
Yeah, I figure we're probably taking advantage of the high altitude and how cold it is to probably super chill the air.
Yeah. Make it very relaxed.
Super chill.
Super chill. All right. Well, nothing else has interrupted you to attack you while you're tinkering with putting that together. So that's promising, at least.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we're on the gun deck. We're looking at a busted up turret. The skeletal remains, were they destroyed, or did just the spiritual emanations disappear?
You did enough raw physical and magical damage to them to put them out of commission. When you look closely, some of them are still rolling their eyes and trying to look at you, but they're beyond doing anything about it.
Oh, well, then I kicked the heads off of the side of the...
Yeah. Well, that'll make a nice surprise for someone lower down.
Yeah.
My new
It looks like some sort of magitech drone has kind of intermingled with the body. So there are bits of wiring and tubes and pipes running in and out of the human body. Like the drone is sort of fastened onto and fused with them.
And so I'm going to do a little insight investigation to see what might be going on there, and that was a 15.
Yes, that would have been insight. 15. That's the standard difficulties. Sorry, it's been a couple of weeks now. So.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to push my head around.
Okay, so that's enough to beat a hard difficulty. So,
Would that be like a 13?
yeah. Okay, so going over these fused bodies, the bodies seem to have been of fitter, stronger men from the crew, probably Marines or onboard security of some kind. So they were quite built. It looks like the drones singled them out, if anything. The way that the drone is fused with their body, it's plugged directly into their heart, lungs, and as best as you can make out from the torn apart bodies, into their adrenal system as well. It looks like the drone part is capable of basically overdriving whatever's left of the body to keep it somewhat intact and to overclock it.
Wow. So, and does this seem to be precursor tech?
Certainly it's very old, but the design of the drone, well, it doesn't really seem designed exactly. It doesn't make any real sense to you from a human point of view. You think maybe, I mean, this thing went down during the automaton revolt. Maybe it was built by automatons.
Right. Interesting. So does this, is there a way to identify whether this was done voluntarily or under duress / violence?
You very much doubt it was done voluntarily. And the bodies do still have some defensive wounds on them.
Gotcha.
Even though it's been, a very, very, very long time.
Yep.
So the drones must have been sort of sustaining and protecting the dead flesh somehow as well.
Okay. What can be harvested from this for as a tinker?
Generic Magitech junk, probably for the most part. One sec.
Well, crew, we need to figure out what we're going to do here. Are we going to plumb the depths of this ghost ship?
I suppose
Well-
so. I mean, there could be something really good on this ship that we could use for our ship and for our general roguish ways.
Well, we're broke right now.
Anything we may happen to kind of pocket away before we have to get back and, basically hand over first dibs, it's probably for the better. So let's, I guess probably go see if we can't find anything, minor enough that we could slip out before we have to share.
Grim, while they're debating about what they're going to do, I go back to the captain's wheel in this derelict ship and start spinning it. Wee! Wee! 'Cause that's what I was trying to do before the ghost came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the
Okay.
ship start turning?
Well, the engines are mostly quiet. The sails
Right.
are mostly torn. So the rudder shifts, but the air is thin up here. So if it is turning, it's doing so at a very, very, very slow pace.
Okay.
Almost unable to even be detected, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know I'm doing it too because I'm yelling, "Wee! Wee!"
Devlin turns. He's gonna go run. He's about to run over, but then he stops and realizes that the ship's not moving. At least nothing notably.
No. Though there is still power running through at least some of the Magitech circuits through the ship, because some of the emergency lights are still intact and on. The control panels next to the wheel sort of vaguely flicker now and again.
So I'm going to open up one of the control panel circuit breakers and get an idea of where these power lines go to, so at least we have an idea of where we want to go in the ship.
Okay, so all power is radiating from an engine core deep in the heart of the ship, as far away from the surface armor panels as possible. So you've got the gun deck, you've got like ammunition and other things up there. So there's a magazine, barracks, officers' quarters, storage, the main engine room, and then below that it's got quite a lot of cargo space. But if you want to trace where the power's coming from, then the engine core seems like the best bet.
Grim, while he's tracing that, I'm going to spend a Fabula point, and I'm going to start pushing buttons. Make something do something.
Okay. All right, you push a bunch of random buttons. The emergency lights blink off. The main lights, or light, since only one of them's intact at the moment, comes up, and the deck starts to vibrate slightly, and the ship begins to move under its own power very, very slowly.
Look, I found it! I found what makes it go!
You can tell we are all impressed.
There is a blinking red light next to the altimeter.
I poke at it.
I'm going to go up and, since he's started doing this kind of stuff, I'm going to have to investigate his random poking and prodding and see if I can figure out what it is he just did. So insight, and if I keep wasting all these good rolls on this, I'm going to be annoyed. 13.
Okay. His random hitting of various buttons seems to have shut down a handful of peripheral systems and shunted their magical power into the main core. So it has ticked up a bit, enough for the engines to kick in at their lowest possible setting.
Okay. Well, Quinn, that was awesome. I think that if we're able to successfully claim this ship for us pirates, then you have allowed us to begin to move it, but don't touch anything else, please. Just don't do it.
Like this? I touched something else.
Yeah.
Out of sight where none of you can see it, a hatch opens up on the side of the hold and a whole bunch of band instruments fall out and tumble away through the air.
Band instruments?
Yes.
Drum roll, please.
After about 20 minutes, some peasant on a low-flying field mountain is hit in the head with a set of bagpipes and knocked unconscious.
Okay. All right. So, those of you who are better at moving through these tactical, dangerous situations should probably lead the way and what we want to do is go down towards and midship.
Okay, then in that case, June leads the way and she says, "Come on, everyone, let's get through here."
All right. So, there aren't diagrams, but there are faded colored lines to help you get to your stations when there's smoke and fire and other stuff. It doesn't tell you what the various lines lead to, but presumably the old crew would have known. So if Jun is taking the lead, can you make an... Let's see.
Is one of the lines, red?
Yes. There's the full gamut of rainbow colors. Can you make an insight willpower roll to concentrate and to figure out which is the one you want to follow?
Okay. And over here. 2 GFS1. Okay. D6 plus D8. 8.
8. Okay. Well, nothing immediately attacks you as you descend below decks, but it is dark. Does anyone have anything for creating light?
Of course I do.
Other than setting everything on fire?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I would have if we were able to get the gun working.
I suppose I could use a ritual to make a light appear on my blade or on following us around or something. I suppose I don't recall if that's how it could work, but I think it could.
So you're elementalist, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you stop for about 10 minutes and conduct a little ritual. Pour a measure of sake out of your hip flask onto the ground as you finish your intonations. And as you do so, from one of the electrical side panels in the little antechamber you've descended into, a little glowing electrical sprite appears, looking like a sort of plasma ball with fairy wings. It glows brighter and brighter and starts emitting a loud buzzing noise like several angry bees. But it is casting enough light for you to see. It's a very stark blue-white light.
This is going to mess with our circadian rhythms.
All
okay,
right.
So we move forward with the light now.
Yes. So, yeah, you follow the corridors, tracing. What you figure out in the end is a lot of these bigger, heavier conduits probably run towards the center of the ship. I mean, as long as you can gauge where you are in relation to the center of the ship and you can follow those ducts, that seems to work. You've descended to the second deck down. It's rather cramped quarters. You're having to move at the most double file, most of the time single file. Looks like they didn't really pay too much attention to space when they put this thing together. You could just squeeze past each other if you breathe in a bit. But you're passing down one of these corridors and you realize that the light coming from ahead is different to the light coming from this little sprite you've got following you around. There is a much warmer light up ahead, and you swear you can hear trickling water.
Okay.
That's either the cooling system, or which could mean the engines, or air conditioning, or sewage.
Well, I don't think there's much sewage necessary on a ghost ship. So I like the idea of coolant.
Water reclamation.
How capable is my companion, my metallic, my mechanical companion? Is it able to communicate?
What stats did you give it?
Oh, wow. It
mean,
has hit points. It has improved defense. It has a faithful companion. Has attacks, damage, affinities. Yeah, I don't see anything about how it talks or
Yeah.
communicates. How
what
does it work
traits
with
did
the
you give it?
dragon? Traits:
So
focused,
he has
clingy, wise, and dutiful. Like it's supposed to be wiser than me, which isn't hard.
yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean it can speak. Okay, I'm just trying to find the entry for it so I can.
Yep. Clingy. No. Dutiful. Dutiful. No.
Tinkerer.
I mean, there's got to be a danger, Will Robinson function.
Golem craft is what it is, I guess.
Oh, well, what is the... God damn it.
I know we started it up, but I don't
Right.
think it can speak, but it can understand you.
He's made with the same rules as my dragon, right?
Correct.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah. They don't get the ability to speak. They just the person who controls them can understand them and use their actions to command it.
Right.
So-
And the reason you can communicate is because you took the special ability to talk to animals.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
But it understands all your commands, and if it makes a noise, you know what it means.
Like
There we go.
R2D2.
Like, there we go. Because that's what I wanted to do, was send it ahead to that warm, glowing light, take a look, and come back and tell me
Yeah.
what it saw.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if any noises it makes, you're the only one who can understand it. The rest of us have no idea.
What form did it take?
A robot?
Just a little robot.
Yeah.
Like Tweaky. Bitty, bitty, bitty.
Well, I mean, it's a defensive. I mean, its might is D12.
All right.
Sneaky with a sledgehammer.
Right.
Tweaky was pretty strong. He bent metal bars and stuff on Buck
Mhm.
Rogers. I remember.
Yeah.
Just because he's little. Yeah, small but mighty. All right. So your robot clanks off up ahead and disappears into a cloud of mist and steam that seems to be coming up through rents in the deck. He stays absent just long enough for you to start to worry, and then comes stamping back out of the mist and makes a bunch of beeping and clanking noises at you, which you take to mean no danger, but very pretty.
All right. All right. Seems like the area's clear. So, Jun, you're our point person.
Okay, I go forward then.
Okay, you creep forward. You pass into a cloud of warm mist. And then as it gradually thins out, you see the warmer, almost sort of sunlight up ahead, which doesn't make sense because you're deep in the core of the ship. As you emerge from this sort of bank of mist, you find yourself in what almost looks like a garden. There are two enormous round boulders with fire runes inscribed on them, but the runes are almost obscured by thick layers of moss and tree roots that are growing over these enormous rocks. There are a couple of Magitech engines which are drawing etheric power from the universe around them, converting it into water and letting that constantly trickle down over the rock. And it looks like there was basically a garden set up on the rocks and around the rocks for some aesthetic reason, not entirely sure why. And that has overgrown in the intervening years while the automated systems have kept the garden growing. Beyond these two enormous rocks, which are probably the Aerion cores that keep this ship in the air, there is a big sealed bulkhead and the language is a bit antiquated, but from looking at the pictograms, you think it means engine core.
Do we want to open that up?
Might as well see what the state of it is.
Okay. How do we open it up?
So
Is there like a lever you can pull, or is it like a magic thing? Or
It looks like it automatically sealed way back when, but there should be a manual way to open it up, or someone could try and reroute power so that the door works again. Up to
Yeah,
you what approach you want to take.
I'm gonna try to reroute some power to see if I can make it open. Like
Okay,
little
insight. Yep.
And using my little tinker thing. Oh shoot! All right,
Double one?
I got a 10. No, I got 2 5s, but you got to have 2 6s. So I got an 11.
Okay, not terrible. Should be good enough to do the job. I should really leave the GM screen open for reference. Okay. You prise off one of the panels and start swapping crystals around and unplugging cables and replugging them elsewhere. Lights come on around the bulkhead door. It makes a loud hissing noise and lifts up about 6 inches and stops.
Seems to be manually jammed somewhere, gentlemen and ladies. I think we're going to have to figure another way to pry it open.
Could your little robot friend and Dracon together lift it up? They're both pretty strong.
Well, or you're pretty small. You could squirt underneath there and tell us what's on the other side.
How about we try to lift it first?
we use children as scouts. Some of these things are very fast.
Quit your whining and get up that chimney.
That's right. Start sweeping.
That's why we have child soldiers.
All right. I'll slide under the door.
There you go.
Okay, can you make a... Because even child size, it's a little bit difficult to fit your noggin underneath. Make a Dex willpower roll.
Would it help if I'm trying to kick his butt into the?
You can try to help him by making a might roll.
I have 13.
Shouldn't I do that with my high might?
Yep.
No, it's too late. I'm already doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will try next if you can't accomplish it.
D6s, here we come. Eight.
You're not sure whether it helped, but it felt good.
I'll try now. D10 plus D10.
Well, so you step up to kick Quinn up the arse and propel him the rest of the way. But he's managed to wiggle under.
Okay, good.
Yellow, stop kicking me! Stop kicking me! My butt's getting sore.
Dracon is way too swole to get in underneath, so he just sits on the other side of the bulkhead, scratching at it and whining.
Quinn tells us to quit kicking him. I give him one last boot to finally shove him up.
Just to make sure, so his foot's through. All right. There is a big metal sphere with all manner of tubes and pipes and all sorts coming off it. It is encrusted with various elemental crystal runoff from the core, but the core itself still seems to be in operation. You're a kid who was raised on an island by dragons. You don't really know much about all this technical stuff, but make an insight roll, please.
You're right. And before I do that, I spent a Fabula point to be lucky about it.
Okay.
He's also been living on board the ship for a while. So he's not an idiot.
No, he's not an idiot. That's why he's getting a roll.
The die was apparently, or the Fabula point was apparently effective on me, the person, because I just rolled 0, 0. So I got 20. That's the best I can get.
All right. You stand before this gigantic ancient device and look at it with your jaw somewhat slack. And there's something about it that you just think is wrong. And the more you look at it, the more it reminds you of those mechanical zombies that attacked everyone on the gun deck. It looks like a whole bunch of similar drones and other bits and pieces have grafted themselves onto this power core and have done all sorts of things to it. Because it doesn't look like something people made. It looks like it's partially grown, or like the metal's gone cancerous. It's it unsettles you.
Well, I'll stick my head to the underneath the door and yell that back to these guys what I see.
All right. Well,
What do you want me to do?
I'll get out of there and let's figure out how to open this door the whole way. This sounds like an important place to be.
Are there any buttons or something for the door on the side?
No.
No, there's some panels. You could try prizing them off and seeing what's inside, but
I was hoping there was like some kind of hydraulic thing that you could like pump this lever up and down and it'll open it up or something.
there might be. You'd have to take off a bunch of panels until you find something that looks right and hope you figure out how to use it right.
Okay, I will do that then.
Okay. You start lifting off panels and looking at things in there. And there does appear to be a manual backup, which is a sort of hand-cranked pump that you can ratchet up and down. Maybe that'll do it.
Okay, then I am going to push my sleeve up and the other sleeve up, and I'm going to start wrenching the rusted lever up and down.
Right. It takes ages, and it makes a lot of grinding and graunching noises, like the gate isn't quite fitted properly, or something has been warped and twisted. That's probably what stopped it opening properly anyway. But by dint of great effort and a lot of sweat, you managed to get it high enough for people to stoop down and get underneath inside.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys owe me for this. I get double pay next time.
Well, since none of us
You're
make
getting paid.
anything, yeah, nobody gets paid.
00 is still 0.
Okay. So we enter this room, look around. There's this globe that
Yes.
appears to be a power source with peculiar technology, drone-looking stuff adhered and merged into it.
Yeah, it's somewhere between the drive core from that science fiction horror film.
Pandorum?
Right? No, the one with Sam. What's his name?
Sam
13
Neill. in it.
Ghost.
Yeah, the one where
Oh,
you get into space,
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
where it basically is a hell device.
Event Horizon.
Event
Yeah,
Horizon.
that's the one.
So it's somewhere between Event Horizon and the containment sphere in Akira. So it's kind of somewhere between those two, but a bit more organic. It looks like it's designed to be self-running as much as possible, but over the many years it's been up here, the casement has cracked, and whatever these things are attached to it have done things to it, and so elemental energy has been leaking out. So there are strange drafts, blasts of heat, then cold, a tingle.
Oh, so all elements. Okay.
Yeah. A tingle that makes the hairs on your arms stand up, and there's a heavy, moist dampness in the air, though that could be coming from the leather stones in the other chamber.
All right. So what so I'm gonna have to do some sort of inspection and figure out what the hell these things are doing. Little tinker insight +1. Oh, see, I keep rolling doubles, but this time it's 4s.
Why don't we just
So
burn
I got
those things
9.
off?
I have no idea what's going on with this thing.
Why don't we just burn those things off? Watch, I'll show you. Drakon, flame that guy.
No.
No, I already did. Drakon, flame that guy.
The dragon inhales. Its chest swells up, and its throat glands wibble, and it breathes out a gout of flame at the engine core. Can you make an attack roll for him, please?
I kind of imagine the dragon looking similar to Uni from the D&D cartoon.
Me.
9.
Or Godzuki.
And my companion is going to step between me and
Attack roll is
our
9.
horse.
Well, it's not shooting at you. 9.
That's not the point.
You want to try and get in the way?
No, I want to
He's
make
protecting himself.
correct.
If I may, I'd like to use my new little ice gun and use my crossfire to stop the shot.
Cool.
Okay.
Spend the night
Probably all my
on
fun.
and negate that.
Oh, everyone should have an extra Fabula point 'cause it's the start of from the start of the session.
Awesome.
Bibbidi fabbidi.
Yeah. All right. So you spend, I think it was 9, wasn't it? And quickly bring up your gun and shoot. Ice and fire meet. There's a blast of steam in all directions as Drakon stops and gives Devlin a look.
Hey, what are you
like,
gonna-
why
what
are
are
you
you
spoiling
doing?
my fun?
What are you doing? He was going to melt the thingies off of it.
So that's what that does.
Well, wait a minute. I got to get him to do it again.
Oh, hold up. Let's figure out what this does before we start burning.
Those
holes
thingies
in.
are wrecking it. We got to get them off.
Yeah. So speaking of, there is a rattling sound from the power core, like a dozen hellish maracas. A whole bunch of eyes and sensors open up amongst the cancerous growths all over it and look directly at you. As they do, a bunch of random junk and magical crystals, tools and stuff accumulates into a chunky-looking robotic amalgamation, a Frankenstein of bits and pieces held together with crackling elemental energy. It makes a loud groaning noise and moves to attack you. So,
See, what did I tell you? We should have flamed it.
roll initiative. So you choose a leader, and everyone else rolls initiative as well.
Okay, make me the leader because I got a +4 and everyone keeps ignoring that.
Okay, he's the leader. The kid is the leader
I
this
think
time.
there's a reason we keep ignoring that, but we will defer this time to game mechanics.
So I got a 7. So I got 17 + 4, 23. Or no,
21.
You're muted,
21.
Ironcaster.
It's more fun our way.
Yeah.
Well, I bought the magic belt. Nobody lets me use the damn thing.
Okay, the adversaries. Right, that beats their initiative. So the player group gets to go first. What do you want to do?
I want to run in the other room because it's something scary.
Okay, so Quinn turns around, sprints for the door, and slides underneath it back out into the garden chamber.
Awesome.
Which means it's the enemy's go now.
Yep.
Across the room, another bunch of parts and crates amalgamates into a second one of these junk Frankenstein creatures. Fortunately, that one can't act at the moment, but the first one can. It lunges at Drakon because he's the first thing that attacked them. What is Drakon's defense?
8.
8. So I need some dice. Rubbish. All right, it lunges out towards him. As it reaches for him with its strange lumpy arms that are made up of all these different bits, they seem to sort of extend and almost break apart with elemental energy crackling between the different parts. And then its hands slam together where Drakon just was. He flits up into the corner of the room and just goes... Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
I suppose I'll go next, or you go.
Oh yeah,
next,
no. Go, Jun, go. Because all I'm doing, I got my thing protecting me. So
Okay, I am going to actually use one of my weapon master abilities, unlike what I've usually done, and I am going to attempt to use Veilstrom,
Okay.
which means I get to attack twice.
Okay. Go for it. Their
Okay.
defense is 10.
Okay. And that is Dex plus Might plus 1. So here, Dex is 8, Might is 10, plus 1. That's 11 for the first roll.
That's a hit. So take your highest dice, add the damage bonus, and tell me what you got.
Okay. That's 7 plus 6 is 13. And then for my second roll, I got a 15, and my highest roll is an 8. So that is 15.
So 15.
Doggo.
Mhm.
Yep.
doggo.
No, wait, it's 14. It's plus 1. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
14, not 15.
All right. So you draw your sword and intercept this thing as it reached for Drakon and slash in a whirl of blows against its arm, shattering several pieces, but it doesn't seem particularly bothered. But then you doubt it has any sense of feeling or pain or anything. But you seem to have carved several chunks off it.
Okay.
All right. So it's their go. The other one was manifesting, so it can't do anything this turn. From the core, arcs a bolt of magical energy. Using its Zort ability. That costs magic points. So what's Jun's defense again?
My defense is 11.
So that's 12. That is a hit. You take 16 points of water damage.
Okay.
And that came from where?
From the core itself.
Gotcha. That's what I thought.
The armored window on the front of it glows blue for a moment, and then a bolt of water lashes out and strikes Jun with considerable force. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I'm going to send Portent to go smash that blue window we just saw.
Okay.
D12,
Then
12.
Make
Physical
the-
attack.
make the attack roll for a minute.
So, 14.
That's a hit. Highest dice plus damage.
So 10 plus 5, 15.
15. Right. He springs forth, bounds up, raises his mighty metal fists, and bashes them against the window. A tiny, tiny chip of glass falls out. That's one of your actions to command him. I think you get to move. And do
Yeah, I
something
get
else,
2.
don't
I
you?
get 2.
Yeah.
So do I take both at the same time, or do I take one
Yeah,
and then
take both. Take both at the same time.
well, then I'm just going to smash them twice. Then.
All right. So you get a single meaningful action and another action, which can be things like move.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah,
like normal.
Yeah, you
All right,
can't.
nope.
You can't control him twice, so controlling him's your main action.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can move. You can run and hide, or
I can move. He can. No, I just want to keep Portent between me and danger and let it smash away.
all right. So you move around the room to make sure Portent is between you and anything else. Right. The core casts Zort again.
Lord.
I've been playing that Expedition 33, and I'm really liking the turn-based combat. I wish they'd never moved away from it in Final Fantasy.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. Like, I think it's got one of the best Metacritic scores up there.
Yeah, it's very arty and very French. And T-shirt probably likes it because one of the main characters has her bare feet out all the time. But we kid because we do. Right, so that's another Zort action. I need to look in the adventure segment.
Was that from the same window?
Same window, so it'll probably be going for the little robot. So what's his defense? Ed, what's your robot's defense?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. Well, I will roll to hit anyway. That's 11. So, do you know what Portent's defense score is?
Yeah. Physical or magical? Sorry.
Magical.
Oh shit! I say yes as I lose track of it. 10.
All right. So he is struck. He takes 16 damage.
Ooh.
In fire form. So the window changes to red and a blast of fire energy strikes Portent. Right. Who wants to go next?
I will. And I think Devlin is going to take a shot at that window that's queued up with fire.
Yeah.
With the new ice weapon.
With the ice gun. All right, go for it.
Let's see, I have, Dex and Insight, D10, plus 3 from stuff. 11, 12, 13, 14.
14. That's definitely going to hit. Damage?
20.
20 damage.
One of them was a 0.
Okay. All right. The cold reacts violently with the heat that's currently radiating from the core. That tiny chip that Portent put in the window cracks all the way across the window.
Good job. Good job. Great shot.
So they have no other goes left. Devlin stands there looking all dramatic and heroic with his gun. Does anyone else? Anyone else have a go?
That's it for us.
Yeah. All right.
New turn.
New turn then, and you guys had the initiative, so you choose who goes first.
If you want, I'll go first. Can I use my? I want to use my evocation to pull the elemental, the wellspring, from the central core there. Pull it out and just blast it out into nowhere to get rid of it, to pull away the power from it.
So which ability is that?
It's in the nature fantasy. It's normally I pull it and I do like an air blast or fire blast or whatever wellspring it is. But the idea is I just want to use the same draw ability to draw it out and then just get rid of it.
Yeah, I just need to check the text to see if that works.
No, this is making it up.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You know.
It's invocation
play.
on page 156 of Natural Fantasy.
Fabula Ultima Natural Fantasy. There we go. So 156 was it?
Yep. You draw from a wellspring and then use it usually to shoot something, but in this case I want to draw it out and just get rid of it.
Okay.
Basically, I want to try to stop it from shooting.
Yeah.
I'll spend a Fabula point too if I need to.
Yeah, give me a sec. Okay. Wellsprings and invocations. Okay, so your wellsprings nearby will be air and whatever element the core last used. How many levels do you have in invocation?
2.
Okay, so you got blast and hex.
Like you said, I want to just try to draw it out and blast it away to get rid of it. To deplete it.
Okay.
Hey.
Right, make your magic effect roll for doing the invocation. It should tell you what stats
15.
are used for that.
Yeah,
15?
it's insight and willpower. It's 2d10s for me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you want to spend a Fabula point to boost the attack?
Yeah, just to make sure it goes off.
Okay. So from the other side of the door, you sort of lay down, look back underneath so you can see the core, and then draw the fire power out of it. Most of the lights go off, and you draw the flame out and then blast it away from yourself. It burns across the garden, singeing a whole bunch of plants, and partially melts one of the walls, which starts to sag slightly. The core seems to have been tremendously weakened by this effect. There's a smash and a blast, and that heavy inch-thick glass gives way, and you're all bathed in the Magitech radiance from inside the core. But it definitely seems to have weakened it, and by using it as a wellspring, you've deprived it of one of its attacks, and then you follow that with a Fabula point, so it can't attack this turn, only the golem things can. All right, so that was your go. Their go. The one that's been damaged and smashed around a lot turns on Jun, raises its enormous fists and brings them crashing down. What is Jun's defense?
11.
And you take 19 health of damage as it smashes its fists down on you.
Oh no.
Because they're made up of bits of junk, it's not quite as bad as it could have been, but you are smashed down onto your knees in front of it.
Oh wow, I am currently at my crisis.
All right. So I don't know if you've got any crisis effects But
Don't think I do.
I forget if anything generic happens to people in Crisis. Let's have a look.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Was the result of the accuracy check an even number?
No.
Okay, never mind. Because if it's even, I get to do a counterattack.
Okay. Different classes and stuff have special crisis effects, but I don't think you have anything to worry about at the moment other than you're at less than half hit points.
Yep. Okay, cool.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'm gonna send Portent over to back up Jun and smash this thing.
Okay. Make an attack roll for Portent.
And 12. So
That's enough to hit. So how much damage?
7 plus 5, 12.
Hooray, basic addition.
Yeah, ADHD is there's no such thing as basic addiction. We all get
That's
to
why
the
I was
number
congratulating
by a very
you.
different way, man.
All right. Portent turns away from the largely smashed core and leaps into the air and comes down on the back of this thing, beating his fists on it. Bits of it crumble and fall away, and it makes distressed grinding noises. The other Franken Golem lurches away from where it came together and reaches for Portent to try and drag him off its friend's back. What is his defense again?
Physical is 8.
Okay, that is a hit. He takes 22 health of damage.
Oh, holy shit.
Bang!
Therefore, 22. That's he's in crisis now.
Yeah. So it peels him off the other golem and hurls him into a wall with a loud smashing clang sound, like a bell being rung. All right, who's next? Well, the rest of you can go in. Yeah, they don't have any more turns, so whoever still needs to go can go. Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
You're muted.
You're muted.
See, it likes to reset it every now and then, and I don't know why.
What do you want to do?
Can everyone get take a moment to, I guess, maybe the insight to check the golem out?
Yep. So that'll be your non-proper action to just kind of scope it out.
10.
Is that the scope action that you're using?
Yes.
Okay. Trying to remember what page that's on and how it works. Studying a non-player character. And you got over 10 but less than 13, right?
Correct.
All right. In your little Pokedex in your head, it comes up. Grief Golem, rank 16, construct. Maximum hit points 102. Maximum magic points 46.
In that case, let's see. So I think Devlin's going to go running up and try to climb on its back and see if he can't get the gun inside, between bits of the cobbled together machinery and junk from the area to try and get a shot off at the inner section of it.
Okay. Right. Make a dex roll to mount it.
He's mounting it.
12.
Okay. So you close the gap between you and the golem, throw yourself onto its back. Climbing it is actually fairly easy because there's lots of handholds. You climb up high where Portent had been smashing at it, jam your gun into it, roll your attack. You will double any damage that you do.
It's 5 and 5 for 13 total.
That's a hit.
See, 4, 15, and you said times 2, so 30
Yeah.
damage.
All right. Yeah. So you jam the gun in between the various segments of this thing and fire. Blast of ice energy radiates out from inside it, covering all of it with frost, and a whole bunch of bits of it drop away, flake, shatter as they grind against each other, made fragile by being frozen. It's not quite down yet, but it's very nearly there. Who else needs to go? Jun?
I will go and I guess I will attack.
Okay. Finish him.
Yes. Okay, let's see. I am going to I'm just gonna do Veilstrom again and attack twice.
Okay. Make your 2 attacks.
Okay.
Its defense is 10. So
Should be easy enough. Okay. 1d8 plus 1d10. So that is 9 for 1. So that's a miss.
yeah.
And that's a 12 for the second.
So that's it. How much
Okay.
damage?
So that is 14 damage. Do I add the +1 in as well, or is it only for the attack roll?
I think you add that in as well.
Okay, then in that case, it's 15 damage.
Okay. All right. You dance around the thing, trying to strike at it, but it's whirling around trying to get Devlin off its back. So you only manage to land 1 solid blow. But 1 or 2 more, and it should probably fall. I think
Okay.
everyone's gone now.
I think so.
So, new turn. Who wants to go first?
If you want, I'll go first again so I can draw that power again from the core so it doesn't attack.
Do it.
Okay. Sorry, my voice is cutting out. My throat's getting sore. What's that? 12.
Okay. That beats its magic defense. So you can draw the power off from it again. Do you want to spend another Fabula point?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So in each hand, you draw off the energy from inside it, which is still fire because it hasn't had a chance to change yet.
Can I throw
Blast
it? Can I throw it at one of the constructs this time instead?
Yeah. Do you want to go for the damaged one or the undamaged one?
The damaged one.
Try not to hit me.
Yeah. So, Devlin, you're clinging to the back of this thing when you just see Quinn lean in under the door and go, and 2 huge fireballs slam into it and explode, and you're knocked sprawling onto the ground as it's completely destroyed. You're unhurt, but maybe slightly singed. And the power core itself completely powers down. So even the emergency lights go off, plunging everything into darkness, apart from this little sprite of yours that's flying around, sending dancing shadows in all directions. The remaining grief golem lumbers over to the door, rams both its arms underneath, and pushes up. Right. The armored door gives off a shower of sparks. There's the sound of some mechanism or other breaking, and the golem slams the door up into the roof. And if it had a face, it would be glowering at Quinn. And even though it doesn't have a face, you can sense it.
Okay. So 2
Shit.
things. Can I direct my construct to attack and get a sensation on whether or not we're falling now or not that this thing has been turned off?
You would probably all slam up against the ceiling if the ship was falling out of the air. So presumably you're still airborne.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what this thing was powering. All right, well, I portent save Quinn.
Bitty, bitty, bitty.
And we've got 7 plus 6, 13.
That's a hit. So how much damage?
So 7 plus 5 is 12.
All right. Portent, dented, sparking, venting steam, picks himself up, runs across the room and slams into the back of this grief golem's leg, tearing chunks off it. It seems largely unimpressed. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next, and I will attack the grief golem that is still standing with multi-attack again.
Is it do you use magic points when you do that?
Yes.
Mm.
I'm down to
All right.
22 now with this third attack.
So you flash across the room in a blaze of blades and make your 2 attacks.
Okay. And this time, if I fail, I'm going to spend a Fabula point. Oops, I input it wrong. Hold on.
I thought it was just
That's an 11 for 1. And a...
It's a hit.
Mhm. That's a 21 for the second hit.
Okay, so how much damage?
So for the first attack, it is 13 damage, and then for the second attack, it is 18 damage.
Okay. For a grand total of 31.
Oh crap. Hold on, let me reroll the last one because I somehow put in a D18 for the D8.
Okay.
Sorry. I was like, wait, how did I get it? Hold on, I'm sorry.
I didn't realize we were playing DCC.
Roll a D pie.
Okay. Second attack is 15. Damage is that is 15 plus 1, so 16 damage for the second attack.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you flash in behind it, your blade gleaming in the stroboscopic darkness as the little sprite flies to catch up to you and slash and cut and hack and tear into the back of this thing, making it more and more threadbare. But it still seems pretty intent on Quinn. Anyone else?
Anyway, so I guess I'll go. So, out of that pile of junk, would I be able to conceivably find a jar?
A jar or a box or a flask, yeah.
I want to try to catch the fairy.
Okay. Make a dex roll. Or fling your dice across the room. That works too.
I mean, I didn't hear the other one fall. Oh, it wound up in the curl of my pants.
Ah,
See, that would be an 11.
yeah, I'll let you.
wait a minute.
So
We went from squirrel to fairy, and in the middle of combat, he's chasing fairies.
yes,
Okay, just checking.
yeah.
I don't remember Devlin being quite so flighty.
So you grab a thick glass jar and capture the electrical fairy in the jar. It stops floating around quite so much, and so nobody's going to have seizures anytime soon. You get a more steady light from one direction. Anyone else?
Ed?
Or is that everyone now?
Can I then grab some, like, probably some string or something to kind of tie to the end of that jar and hold it up as a lantern?
Yes, but it's not very elegant at the moment. You can just tie a quick loop around the top.
I think that was everybody.
All right, new turn. You guys still had initiative, so who wants to go?
Wouldn't it be Quinn? Or
Yeah, I'll have
Probably.
Drakon attack.
All right. Draco moves between you and the golem and breathes a gout of dragon fire.
Well, actually, I'm going to have him do his physical attack with his teeth and claws
Okay.
because he gets multi-attack with that.
All right.
13 to hit and 18 to hit.
So that's 2 hits. Roll
Yeah.
down. Tell me what the damage is.
The high was 7 and 8. So that's a total of 17 damage and 18 damage.
Okay. Which is
physical.
35 physical damage. It's a bit of a monster, Drakon. Right. He snarls and leaps to your defense and rips and tears and bites and chews and claws and pulls chunks off this thing until it's little more than a stick figure described with old worn spanners and bits of broken metal. One more really good hit should probably see this thing off, but it's its go. Drakon is in the way, so it attacks Drakon by trying to bear hug him and crush him. And I rolled a double 12, which is a critical, I think.
Crush.
Kill, destroy.
Roll. What was that from?
That was Lost in Space.
When he went from Danger, Will Robinson, to when he became the bad one.
I think it was a different creature. It was a guy in like a spandex jumpsuit and tinfoil face mask.
I
From
believe
danger
you.
to I am the danger.
Yes. I built a robot that molests children. Why?
Because it's evil.
Oh, I thought it was because it was easy.
If you roll a critical success, your check is automatically successful, and you get to apply the effects of an opportunity. Opportunities. Okay, I'm going to say it boosts its defense. So it grabs hold of Drakon and starts spinning and twisting wildly around, holding him and squishing him and hugging him and kissing him and calling him George.
George, right where I'm going.
Yeah. And it does 22 health of damage to Drakon.
Okay, that puts Drakon into critical
Crisis mode, yeah.
Yeah, so that means he's gone from the scene. He flees the scene.
I thought that was when he was defeated, he flees.
No, if he goes
No.
in, if your sidekick goes into crisis, they flee the scene,
Okay.
and then they come back at full strength later.
That means Portent should have run off as well,
Yep.
because he was put into crisis.
When
wasn't
he took the 22,
Yeah. Okay, so he wriggles free at the end of the turn and disappears off with Portent. Maybe picking him up in his claws and carrying him off because it's convenient. All right, so who's next?
What do you guys?
Was it this turn I captured the fairy, or was that last?
It was last turn. We're on a new
Okay.
one.
In that case, I'll Devlin come running up to.
There's still a thing there. It's fighting. It's not much of it, but it's still there.
So get a couple shots in on the golem.
Okay. So you shoulder your rifle and try to get a couple of shots in as it twists around with Drakon in its arms.
But Dracon's gone.
He will be at the end of the turn. It's just I need to excuse what I took as an advantage, which was boosting
Oh,
the golem's defense. So if you've got to be careful about hitting Dracon, that makes sense.
That's another 13. Apparently that's my magic number today.
Well, you need a 14, so that's a miss.
In that case, could I spend a Fabula point?
You may.
Because I've got like 8 of them.
Yes, spend them and keep track of how many you've spent.
See, that's a 16.
That's a hit. So how much damage?
Why can't I math today? 19.
19. Okay. There's barely anything of it left. It's kind of stuttering and flickering and barely holding itself together. The bits of it keep trying to fly apart, and it seems to have to concentrate to pull them back together. A stiff wind could probably finish it off. Is anyone not gone?
I haven't gone.
I don't
I
think.
think I went already again.
No, not this turn.
Not this time.
Oh,
It's just
Well,
me
then-
and Devlin have gone.
oh, well, then.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll go. I am going to
What?
attack with the multi-attack again.
Okay. You need 14 or greater to hit it at the moment.
Okay. Let's see. 1d8
Come on.
plus 1d10 plus 1, 1d8 plus 1d10 plus 1. Oh no, that's 2 failures. I'm spending 2 Fabula points.
Okay. Remember, keep track of how many you spent.
Okay. That's another miss because that's an 11, but we'll see about the next one. That is also a miss.
Okay. It's a special technique you have of intimidating people by stabbing everywhere around them without actually hitting them once.
I'm
Yeah,
basically like, what's her face? Darkness from Konosuba. How she can't hit anything.
The paladin's my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it just Bow left to go?
Yeah. So I guess I'm just gonna shoot it with my slingshot, normal fire shot. Going and 10 doesn't hit though, does it?
No, you need 14.
Yeah. So no, I don't hit it.
Do you want to spend a Fabula point?
Well, as I'm looking, I actually just have 2 d8s. So no,
yeah.
I'm gonna do something else next turn instead.
Okay, so everyone's gone. New turn. Players still have initiative, so who wants to go first? Yeah, Dracon and Portent flee the scene.
Okay, I want to go first. I want to spend 4 Fabula points and crawl inside of that device and see if I can figure out how to use it and fix it to my own device. and purpose.
Nefarious ends.
Correct.
Okay, don't worry about rolling yet. It'll take you more than a combat turn to figure this shit
Correct.
out. Right, so the golem now has nothing between it and Quinn, so it lunges after him. What's Quinn's defense? Nepal. Bunch of Nepalese people moved into Reading, which isn't very far from me, and it's always cool to see new people around and lots of new restaurants. So, hi to Nepal.
We'll have to get the food report.
because there was a big fuss about letting the Gurkhas come and settle in the UK. The government didn't want to do it, and there was big public outcry and a big campaign, partially led by Joanna Lumley, of all people, who was on the New Avengers and AbFab, and managed to win the rights for the Nepalese soldiers to settle over here. And I think it's really cool, actually. My granddad always had massive respect for the Gurkhas.
Yeah, that's it, like that. Like, why would the Gurkhas were instrumental in keeping India British? So I don't know why that was an issue.
I don't know why we didn't just let anyone who wanted to from Hong Kong come and settle here as well after we handed it back to China. Yeah, so it's a sore spot.
Yeah, there used to be Canadians used to be able to settle back in the UK too.
Yeah.
And when I looked into it, they canceled that in the 60s.
It is still somewhat easier for people from the Commonwealth to travel to the UK and work like holiday jobs and things, but that's about it now.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing that because I have a truck driver. I'm a truck driver, so I was offered a couple opportunities to drive delivery over there. Just to spend 6 months.
They're desperate for drivers because nobody wants to drive into the UK from Europe because of all the tailbacks and problems since Brexit. So
I actually wouldn't mind doing it just to take 6 months to have a vacation and wander around.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah. Well, our Mr. Starmer is negotiating with the EU at the moment, so maybe things will get a bit easier as well.
Brexit was not anticipated with Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Does it offer a realistic experience of sitting in a car park in Kent for like 12 hours at a time?
I don't think so.
Gripping gameplay there. With all of that distraction, I've completely lost track of where we were. What was going on? Oh, it was attacking Quinn.
Yeah, and I just missed like Darkness, the Paladin from Konosuba.
Okay, so it's attacking me.
Yeah, and it definitely got over your defense.
Yeah, my defense is 6.
So, in which case, you are going to be taking 22 health of damage. Kronk.
That puts me in crisis.
Wrong lever.
That puts me in crisis, which means for at least the next action, I can't fly.
Okay. Yeah. So your belted one knocked sliding across the room with the wind knocked out of you. Who wants to go next?
I might as well go ahead and try to go finish off the golem.
Okay.
So, could I go ahead and try to climb up on top of it again, like I did before?
I don't really want you to use the same stunt again that quickly.
Okay. In that case, could I run and slide underneath it and try to shoot them from the...
Are you going to give it a gooch?
I rolled double 6s.
Okay, so that is a crit. So you can create an opportunity as well as doing your damage.
So perhaps I shoot away a key piece of the armor on it to allow someone else to shot?
Well, it's going to destroy it, and this is going to be the end of the combat, so it doesn't really actually matter.
Okay.
So, you just destroy it with style and elan. All right, so you come sprinting up behind it, slide, ratchet the gun, and fire a couple of freeze rounds up between its legs. It partially collapses and almost falls on you, which the server interprets as teabagging and bans the golem from the server. All words to that effect. Yes, it's scattered and destroyed. Right, combat is over. You're surrounded by bits of junk, and Bao has already climbed into the potentially incredibly dangerous and magically radioactive core to look at it.
Yep. Wahoo!
I'm looking around. Devin looks around for a minute, remembers Bowers or somewhere. I'm like, I didn't wait. What happened to him?
You can see my feet. Yeah, you can see my feet sticking out the portal.
Since I'm on the only one on the other side of the door, I'm on the other side of the door going, ah, it hurts, ah! I get reduced there. I get reduced by half in the hit points, so.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And Dracon's not here because he flew off.
Nope. No, he's gone too.
So what happens? How does that work? When do they come back next scene?
Next scene. They come back in the new scene.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And they come back at full strength.
Right. So what do I? So I've thrown a lot of Fabula points into understanding what I'm looking at here.
Okay, so you need to make an insight roll to try and understand it.
Yeah.
And then you can spend Fabula Ultima points.
Yeah, I want to spend 4.
Well, you see if you need the rerolls first.
Yeah, see, that's the deal is I want to spend them to do something impressive because so I roll an 11.
Yeah.
But I only have D8, D8.
Yeah. So the highest you could get would be 16.
Right. So what I'm hoping is that by spending a lot of, because I don't spend the Fabula Ultima points very much, I got to use them. That perhaps that would give me some sort of fabulously ultimate insight that wouldn't otherwise normally come from my, explosive, obsessed brain.
Well, okay, so you can spend Fabula points to alter the story, to add to or alter existing elements. You can also spend it to add or take away your bond strength if you have a bond to the engine.
So it turns out that the glyphs of this ancient precursor are derived from Taoist writings and understandings, and so
making it easier for you to understand.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so spend a Fabula point, and then tell me again what you rolled.
I rolled 11.
Okay. The core was originally basically a magic furnace, so it would suck in magical energy and convert it into useful energy like electricity, motive force, heat, light, all of that kind of thing, and then channel it around the ship. The drones that latched onto it, you don't exactly understand because they don't come with a manual. They were built by automata operating under their own strange and arcane intellect. The thing is irretrievably destroyed, but there is something in it which you think you can recover. There is what you would call, if I can find it again, a soul capacitor. It seems set up to psychically store one powerful emotion and then can turn it into raw magical energy.
Wow.
So you can seal a powerful emotion into the soul capacitor and then expend it to basically double the effect of a spell. The emotion that you give up into it, you stop feeling it. So if you were terrified by a horrifying undead creature, you could store your fear in it, in which case you would no longer be afraid, and then you could use it. Or if you fell in love, you could lock your love away in the soul capacitor, but you'd fall out of love with the person that you had those feelings for before.
Mm-hmm.
And so on.
Okay. Well, let's harvest that bad boy, and I'll think about how to use it in the future.
Okay. I reiterate. I'm hurt! Ah! Come on me back!
Surprised your dogs aren't going crazy when you do that.
He did. Actually, he got up and looked at me like, what the fuck?
What's wrong with you, buddy?
Does
Wow.
anyone have first aid?
No,
No.
none of us know how to do any of that stuff.
So,
Unless I can do like a ritual to heal him or something.
so I'm gonna. Devlin is gonna go spend some IP
Mm-hmm.
three for a health potion, so we can heal up Quinn,
Yeah.
and probably another 3 for the MP for himself.
Have some nasty medicine, your blueness.
Devlin walks over, takes one out, kind of shoves it in his mouth, just to forces it up. Drink.
It's wet, ain't it?
Well, I don't think you have to force it. The kid's freaking out. So
Is it minty flavored?
It tastes like medicinal grape.
what does that do anyway?
This would heal, I believe, 50 HP.
I don't know. I haven't used one in the game. Jim, what does the healing potion do?
I am looking. Potions. Is it under P for potions? Yes. 104 or 212. 104. Remedy. One creature recovers 50 hit points.
Oh wow, yeah, that easily heals me. Thank you. One of my dogs
Feels-
is trying to see what's going on.
And back to
Thank
full.
you.
Have a good time, goat.
And I'm going to increase my bond with Devlin for that.
Huzzah!
Oh, Devlin's gonna sit down. Is gonna sit down beside him, and kind of rub his.
Getting in a fight hurts. Why do you guys want to get in fights? It hurts.
Well, we don't exactly want to get in the fights, kid, but we
I
have
think
to.
I think we may have another issue because aren't healing potions and potions in general filled with like alcohol?
I'm sure that's what makes it feel better.
Get out
I mean,
down
that's
in
what
that
I remember it
scoop,
being in like Witcher, and also I think it's mentioned in D&D.
Well, when my mom was a kid, her parents would give her laudanum at the
Oh,
end of a
wow.
road trip, so she would just go right to bed so they could sit and relax and have their gin martinis. That was in the 50s, of course.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we've harvested something. We have healed the boy. We should probably be searching for other items of use on our way out of here. I'm assuming that now that we have the heart of this thing, that the haunting is over, because we haven't really seen any more hauntings.
Yeah.
Do we figure out how it's flying still so high?
Oh, because it's got the big, what do you call it's on it? It's got the biggest oversized area.
It's got those enormous Arion boulders keeping it in the air. Though now that the power has gone out, you're not sinking at a fast enough rate to feel it or anything, but the ship is now slowly sinking.
So can we take it down now so that we can, cash you out?
Harvest it. 100%. That's what we're gonna do. We call it
Salvage.
Thank you. That's the word. Salvage rights.
All right. So you check over the rest of the vessel. There are a few more bodies that have been combined with these strange drones, but they don't activate and attack you, nor do any of those strange magical holograms that fought you before.
Well, I certainly hope not. I'm going to double tap them all the same.
there's various knickknacks, bits of old coinage, and so on that you'll be able to recover and sell. You're not really set up for scrapping a ship of this size, but you could take it to that scrapping bay by towing it.
No. We take it to the island where we found that guy with the hole, and we start our own scrapping business right
Okay.
there.
Wait a minute, but this was a warship, right?
It was.
Right.
Wouldn't it be better to repair this ship and then get rid of the one that we stole?
Well, the one we stole is probably faster and more.
Yes, but no one's looking for this ship.
But the problem is, we sort of owe a debt to have gotten here in the first place.
Sell the other ship for that.
I didn't. I'm not involved in any debt. No, I think, well, then we could also take this and hide this ship somewhere and slowly repair it. That is also an option. We
Because
have a more powerful ship.
We'll have a more powerful ship, but also have a ship that isn't wanted.
And we
I'm
can
not
also
worried about
use
a
it
ship
to
that's
assemble a
wanted.
fleet. Or
Right.
start
We
to.
can. Oh, I can go from captain to admiral. Well, yeah. Interesting. Well, actually, it's Commodore because it's only 2 ships. But that's a squadron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but does
let's
Bao
do
know
that. I like that
But
idea.
does Bao know that, or is that what you know?
We're gonna refit the new ship with like the ability to just eject our old ship as the getaway vehicle.
Well,
yeah.
this thing will need a lot of work to make it truly skyworthy, and you'll need a much bigger crew. But you can certainly stash it somewhere, and
Long-term
you can
project.
hire people to strip the interior back of everything that's useless scrap and sell it off, and then start repairing it.
Yeah, we'll treat it like a 57 Chevy, and we're from the Midwest, and we're just gonna, repair it from the ground up.
And then come wintertime, it'll rust out.
Yeah, you need to move to like Sky, Arizona, or something. Keep it nice
South
and safe.
Florida.
We had to salt the air to prevent it from freezing over.
Man.
Space Cuba.
Yeah, I knew got spend $15,000 on a car, rebuild it, and never take it out between September and April.
All right. So
All right.
someone note down that you own the hulk of the Vesper's Wake. There was that soul cage device, which someone should also write down.
So what about weapon design, things,
Though that sort of stuff's going to be projects in downtime.
So cool. That's what I wanted to ask about.
Yeah.
Is that could also be the kind of thing that we can see. Now we can become weapon specialists where we're creating and selling weapons to different factions and then vie them against each other, just like the real world.
All right. In terms of other stuff that you find when going over the ship, bits and bobs that can be sold off, you manage to gather roughly 1,000 zenit of things that can be easily sold or used as money. Gold buttons, shit like that. On the corpse of what you presume to be the captain, though, you do find something special.
This.
Which may be something for Jun to grab hold of.
What is it?
Let me just find
Sword.
the sheet for it. Yeah.
It is the bronze sword of permafrost to go with my panties of permafrost.
Going for the set bonus, eh? Right. It is a blade made out of a single piece of black metal. When you pick it up, you suddenly become very aware of all the weaknesses of all the people you have bonds with.
Well, I have Omen on there. I don't know if Omen's still alive, so that might have to change. Okay, so it lets me know the weaknesses of everyone I have bonds with. Got it.
Yes. It's called the Blade of Finality.
Speaking of bonds, can I likewise pick up a 2-point bond with Quinn, or would you prefer that one?
You could increase or decrease it by one at a time.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna go with just affection, or I'm gonna go with affection for now.
Okay.
And the kid's growing on me.
Yeah, like rust.
Better
yes,
you than me.
It's the Blade of Finality. You roll Will plus Dex. It does high roll plus 15 damage and does double damage to someone you have a bond with if you evoke the bond.
Okay, so will plus dex, high roll plus 15 damage, and what was the other stuff?
So you
If
can
you
use that
invoke-
sword to kick the crap out of the rest of the party then.
Yeah, see, if you invoke your bond with someone, so spend a Fabula Ultima point and attack someone you have a bond with, then it does double damage. Now remember, if we get any recurring villains, you can form bonds with them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a
it's not just-
bond
So,
with,
so
you know, my
basically,
rival.
so is this blade just like Elric's Stormbringer?
I guess in a way.
It's a black
never.
blade, does tons of damage. It wants to attack bonds. Sounds like Stormbringer, but I like that, so I'm good with that.
So its official name is the Blade of Finality, but it also goes by the name the Blade of the Turncoat.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right. I know it's only been 2 hours, but my
No,
back is killing me, and we have
Perfect.
come to the end of this subsection of the adventure. So let's
No, I
give some
think it's very
experience
important.
points.
Yep.
We got a fight, we got some exploration, we found out some stuff about the setting. It's all
Yeah,
good.
we spent a lot of Fabula points this time.
Yeah.
spent one?
Once.
I spent
I
5.
I spent 2. Although, if we're counting last session, then that's 3.
Probably because we didn't really end last session properly.
I spent 3 in last session.
So 8 total.
Okay.
No,
I
11
spent
total.
2 last session and 1 this session.
Yeah, you're closer to 15.
Okay. Everyone gains 5 experience points automatically.
Okay.
You also gain XP equal to the amount of Ultima points spent by villains. That wasn't any. Finally, your character gains a number of XP equal to the amount of Fabula points spent by the group divided by the number of players. So how many Fabula points did you all spend in total between all of you?
15.
Yeah, it was close to 15 or 16 if you count last game.
Okay. So that's another 5 experience points each. So you'll get 10.
That's
Awesome.
11.
Which is enough to level. Yeah, if you have over 10 experience points, you can level up.
Which would
I
bring us
will
to
leave.
level 8.
Yeah, we can do
But
that on our.
I will leave that up to you. Oh,
Thank you for persevering. We appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hopefully
Wrap.
back to normal from next week. So yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Sorry it's a shorter game than usual, but I'm still recovering from my medical episode. So
That was a pretty good game
It's
anyway.
okay. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good conclusion to this little expedition to get some cash in our pocket. Thank you.
yeah.
Some game is better than none.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. So we'll see everyone next week, barring
Yep.
disasters or whatever else.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.